It may be a market holiday today, but the Dukascopy TV team continues to bring you exclusive insights to assist you with your trades. Joining me now to discuss the data releases which could help shape currency markets is Gennadiy Goldberg of TD Securities. Hi Gennadiy, let's begin. Contrasting with a pretty sleepy data week last week, the days following the Easter bank holiday will see several major data releases, including rate decisions from the Reserve Bank of Australia, Bank of Japan, Bank of England and European Central Bank. To your mind, what should Dukascopy TV viewers be looking out for?
Well, I think you should be looking out for any surprises on the central bank front in the coming week. Obviously, the BOJ will be in focus, given that this will be Governor Kuroda's first meeting as governor, and the market will be looking for him to deliver on the promises of reflating Japanese growth. Similarly, in the BOE and ECB meetings, we'll be looking for any hints to perhaps further easing, given the uncertainty on the European front. We don't look for the BOE to increase QE, but they could drop a hint that unless conditions improve further, and this will be contingent on the PMIs released next week, they could hint that there could be additional QE purchases on the way, and we look for ECB to stand pat despite the additional uncertainty coming out of Cyprus.
With several of the major markets closed for the Easter holiday weekend, and China also experiencing a bank holiday on Thursday and Friday of this week, at a time when global sentiment is changing by the day, what impact are these market blackouts likely to have on currency market movements this week?
Well, what you're likely to see is a slight decrease in liquidity, and as you said, when global sentiment is changing by the day, and there's quite a bit of volatility on the economic data front, and when you have several central bank releases in the same week, you're likely to have additional volatility. So what this could do is actually exacerbate existing volatility and make price action a little more volatile.
As traders continue to nervously eye the Eurozone as Cyprus dominates markets, how important is Germany's CPI data out on Tuesday to investor sentiment?
I don't believe this will shift Germany's stance in any way. So I think that despite what the German CPI reading will be, there's not likely to be a softening in Germany's stance on future bailouts or bail-ins. With the election approaching in Q3, what you're likely to see is ongoing rhetoric of a more hawkish nature, so to speak, that the southern European countries should be more responsible for their bailouts. Pretty much what we saw with Cyprus.
Thursday sees Bank of Japan Governor Kuroda's first rate policy meeting under his leadership, following indications of ultra-loose monetary policy when speaking at Parliament last week. Can we expect Kuroda to follow through with his intentions? And what do you think traders can expect from the Japanese yen?
Well, that's the big question. I mean, the big fear is that we've had a buy the rumor, and now we might get sell the fact if the BOJ delivers. The big test will be what can the BOJ do, and what can they promise, and in what a way that they can back up their verbal easing, and the one that has taken the yen to its lowest level in several years. Obviously, if we do get a disappointment on that front, you could see the yen begin to re-strengthen somewhat, despite the promises to purchase assets and to raise the inflation target.
And lastly, if we take a closer look at the US domestic economy, the granddaddy of economic indicators is out on Friday in the shape of NFP and unemployment data. Can we anticipate an improvement from January's gains?
I don't think so, although the sort of underlying tone will be largely the same. We're looking for at about 195,000 headline print and 205,000 on the private sector jobs. And that should be fairly in line with market consensus, and that would indicate a slight pullback from the pace seen in February. And that's mostly because the 246,000 100,000 pace will be a little more difficult to sustain at this point. So we're looking for a bit of moderation and for the data to remain positive overall.
Gennadiy, thank you for your comments. The Dukascopy TV team will be keeping you updated on all of these items and more, so stay tuned.